You know that feeling, right? You've done absolutely everything right. You've got the best fertilizer, the best seeds, you've put in all that hard work, and your crop is still, well, weak. It's so frustrating. But listen, the problem probably isn't you. The secret to a really great harvest is actually hiding right under your feet. And today we're going to unlock that secret together using some super simple tests you can do right at home. I mean, this quote really says it all, doesn't it? Our soil, it's not just dirt, it's everything. When our soil is healthy, our crops are healthy, and that means our families are happy. It is literally the foundation of everything we do. So, really understanding our soil, that's probably the single most important investment any of us can make.
Okay, so here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to figure out your soil's hidden problem. Then, we'll cover how to get the perfect soil sample. After that, we'll read your soil's texture, figure out if it's sour, and finally, we'll put it all together into a simple action plan. Let's dive in. All right, first up, let's get right to the heart of this really frustrating mystery. You're spending your hard-earned money on good fertilizer, but the plants just aren't responding. So why? What is going on? Well, the answer is this invisible but incredibly powerful thing happening in the soil.
So yeah, this is the big question, isn't it? Why do the plants look weak even when you're using the best stuff, like urea and DAP? Here's the crazy part. The fertilizer is good. The problem is your soil has basically locked all those nutrients away in a safe. The plant just it can't get to them. So it's not that the food is bad, it's that the plant can't eat the food.
Okay, so the key to opening that locked safe, it's something called pH. Now, scientists call it the potential of hydrogen, but I love this farmer's definition. Just think of it as your soil's digestion. It's hosma. It makes perfect sense, right? If our own digestion is bad, we can't get the goodness from our food. It's exactly the same for your soil. And for most crops, that sweet spot is somewhere between 6.5 and 7.5. Not too sour, not too, well, chalky. Just right.
And this is exactly what happens. When that digestion, that pH is all wrong, the nutrients from your fertilizer, especially something like the phosphorus in DAP, they get completely locked up. The plant can't use them at all, so you're basically just throwing your money away because your soil is actually working against you. Okay, let's move on to what is maybe the most crucial step of all. Because seriously, if you get this part wrong, every single test you do after this will be wrong too. A good test always, and I mean always, starts with a good sample. So here's what you need to do. The whole point here is to get a sample that represents your entire field, not just one little lucky or unlucky spot. So you're going to walk across your field in a W pattern, or a zigzag, just to cover the whole area. From about 10 to 15 different spots, you'll dig down about 6 inches, because that's where the roots are, that's where all the action is happening. Make sure to pull out any stones, roots, or leaves. Then you just mix all of those little samples together in one big bucket. This is what we call a composite sample. And that one bucket, it now tells the true story of your entire field. And please, whatever you do, avoid these super common mistakes. Taking soil from just one spot, that's like trying to understand a whole movie by watching just one scene. It doesn't work. And don't sample near a tree or a drain or a manure pile. Those spots are totally different from the rest of the field, and they'll mess up your results. Also, try not to test soil that's way too wet or muddy. Getting a good representative sample, that really is the foundation for everything else we're about to do. Okay, now for what is honestly my favorite part. This is a test that kind of feels like magic, but it's actually pure science. All you need is a simple jar. And with it, we're about to discover the basic recipe of your soil. You know, how much sand, silt, and clay you're working with. And the process really couldn't be any easier. You take a clear jar, fill it about a third of the way with your mixed up soil sample, then add water until it's almost full. You can add one little drop of dish soap if you want. That's optional, but it just helps all the tiny bits separate better. Then screw the lid on tight and just shake it. Shake it really hard for a few minutes. Then you just set it down somewhere where it won't be disturbed and let it sit for a full day. That's it. So what do you see after 24 hours? It's amazing. You'll see distinct layers. The very bottom layer, the stuff that settled in like the first minute, that's your sand, the heavy, grainy stuff. Then that middle layer that took a few hours to settle, that's silt. It feels kind of smooth like flour. And then way up on top, the stuff that took the whole day to settle, that's the clay, all the super fine, sticky particles. Just by looking at the thickness of these layers, you can tell if your soil drains water too fast, or if it holds onto it for too long. All right, so we've figured out our soil's texture. Now let's circle back to that idea of its digestion, its pH. We're going to get a rough idea of what's going on using two things that I bet you have in your kitchen right now: plain old vinegar and baking soda.
Okay, but first, a really important disclaimer. This little test, it just gives you a general idea. It is not an exact number, and it absolutely does not replace a proper lab test. It'll just point you in the right direction, telling you if your soil is likely acidic or alkaline. For making any real changes, like adding lime or gypsum, you have to get a professional lab test. Guessing can actually do more harm than good, so please remember that.
So, here's how the fizz test works. It's really simple. You're going to take 2 small samples of your soil. For the first one, just pour a little bit of vinegar on it. If it fizzes and bubbles up, that's a clue that your soil might be alkaline or kari. Now, for the second sample, add a little water to make it into a mud paste, and then sprinkle on some baking soda. If that fizzes, it suggests your soil might be acidic or kati. And hey, if nothing fizzes in either test, well, that could mean your soil is close to neutral, which is actually fantastic news. Okay, so we've got our test results, we know our texture, and we have an idea about our pH. But now what? I mean, knowledge is pretty useless without action, right? So let's turn what we've learned into a simple, straightforward action plan. Think of this chart as your roadmap. It's pretty simple. If your jar test showed you have really sandy soil, the goal is to help it hold water, so you'll want to add things like compost or manure. If your test showed you have heavy clay soil, the goal is to improve drainage. So again, adding organic matter helps. And remember, if that fizz test showed you might have a pH problem, either acidic or alkaline, your very next step is to talk to an expert and get a real lab test. Do not guess how much lime or gypsum to add. This is all about working smarter, not just harder. So, when you really think about it, this isn't just about sand, silt, and clay, is it? It's about listening. Your land, your soil, it's a living partner in everything you do, and it has a story it's trying to tell you. By doing these simple tests, you're finally, maybe for the first time, starting a real conversation with. In the end, your soil is your life partner. It really is. If you take good care of it, it will take good care of your family for generations. If you found this explainer helpful, please think of just one other farmer who could use this information and share it with them. And I'd love to start a conversation down in the comments. Do the jar test and tell us what you found out. What was your thickest layer, sand, silt, or clay? Thank you so much.